All right, we have breaking news right now. President Trump is in Florida at Mar-a-Lago greeting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy as they meet for key peace talks today. Let's listen in.
I think he is. I think they both are.
What was your how close are we to a message to Mr. Putin?
Got to make a deal. Got to get it done. Too many people dying. And I think both presidents want to make a deal. We believe that they're going to brief you.
What do you expect to meet Putin again soon?
Depends. It depends. But I do believe that we have the makings of a deal. It's good for Ukraine, good for everybody. It's very important. There's nothing more important, my book. We settled 8 wars, and this is the most difficult one. I thought it would be in the middle of the pack. This is the most difficult one, but we're going to get it done. We're going to have a great meeting today. This gentleman has worked very hard, and he's very brave, and his people are very brave. I mean, what they've gone through, no nation, very rarely has a nation ever had to go through this. So we're going to have a very good meeting today, I think, and I'm also calling President Putin back after the meeting, and we'll continue a negotiation. Pretty complex, but not that complex.
What should we expect of these deals?
Deadline?
I don't have deadlines. I have you know what my deadline is? Getting the war ended. We don't have deadlines. You agree with that?
They prepared to sign security agreement with Ukraine.
Well, it depends what the security agreement says. What a dumb question. Nobody even knows what the security agreement is going to say. But there will be a security agreement. It'll be a strong agreement. And the European nations are very much involved in that. They'll be very much involved in protection, etc. But the European nations have been really great. They're very much in line with this meeting and getting a deal done. They're terrific people. I think you can say that. There's nobody there. They all want to get it done, and they've been very supportive, I think.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for this meeting. Thank you for your invitation. Yes, really, I agree with President. Our teams, they do what they can. And I think that during last month, they moved forward with negotiations and the Americans. Thank you very much for your team, for Steve and Jared. And they worked very well, I think. They worked on different documents. I hope that all these documents can bring peace as quick as possible. So, and I agree with the President that really Europeans, yes, and the President is in contact with them, and maybe we'll contact with them.
We can go today.
Yeah, we should go today.
What made you want to come in person to meet the President today?
Sorry?
What made you want to come here to Mar-a-Lago to meet the President today?
What? Yeah. What?
Why?
So yeah, we talk about our teams. They worked on 20 points plan. Then they worked on prosperity and security document. And 20 points plan is very important. We have to discuss and sequencing. Very important. Our teams talked about strategy, how to make step by step and to bring this closer. And we will discuss this strategy.
Mr. President, are you willing to make territorial concessions?
We will speak about 20 points plan. There in 20 points plan, 90% by the way was done by our 2 teams. I think they made a great job, great work, and yes, we will discuss these points also.
And there are great economic benefits for Ukraine also, because there's a lot of rebuilding to do. There's a lot of wealth to be had, and they have great wealth. Potentially, they have great wealth. They want to get started. But there's a great economic benefit for Ukraine in what we're talking about.
President Trump, some are saying that the recent attacks in the past couple of days that Russia's staged against Ukraine shows that President Putin isn't serious about peace. What is your reaction to that?
No, he's very serious. I think, I can say that I believe Ukraine has made some very strong attacks also. And I don't say that negatively. I think you probably have to. I don't say that negatively. But I think, he hasn't told me that, but there have been some explosions in various parts of Russia, and it looks to me like, I don't know, I don't think it came from the Congo. I don't think it came from the United States of America. It possibly came from Ukraine, but I haven't asked that question. Maybe I won't bother asking. They're fighting a war, and we'll see what happens. But I believe it's a war that We have two willing parties. We have two willing countries. They want to see it end. Look, the people of Ukraine want it to end, and the people of Russia want it to end, and the two leaders want it to end.
Mr. President, some of the economic benefits for Ukraine, Europe is holding some billions in frozen Russian assets. Do you believe that should go to Ukraine to help rebuild or go back to Russia?
None of that's been determined, but it'll go. It's going to go very quickly. I think we're in final stages of talking, and we're going to see. Otherwise, it's going to go on for a long time. It'll either end, or it's going to go on for a long time, and millions of additional people are going to be killed. Millions.
Sir, would you say
and nobody wants that.
Are you still frustrated with this
expecting to
message?
get to an agreement today.
What?
Would you say you're
When you
still
say
frustrated?
that you think it will either end or go on for a long time, and you say you don't have a deadline. So what are you expecting out of today's
I just think we can do. I think we can move very rapidly. I really feel that. We've spoken. I know you had dinner with Steve. Steve Witkoff and Jared have done a fantastic job. And everybody has. Marco's been incredible. The whole group has been, our group has been incredible. And Ukraine appreciates it, and Russia appreciates it. They both want to see it end, and we're going to get it ended. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you, I think, at the end, but I do think we'll call Europe also. We're going to speak to the European leaders. Thank you very much.
All right, you are now watching President Donald Trump introducing Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy at President Trump's private club and residence in Palm Beach, Florida, Mar-a-Lago. This is, of course, for those high-stakes attempts to advance a Ukraine-Russia peace deal framework. Obviously, we know this is coming on the backdrop of several Russian drones and missile strikes on Kyiv, damaging several buildings, causing several casualties at that one point. We do know that one of the main core agenda items are security guarantees. We know that President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has said that his top priority is securing a binding U.S.-backed guarantee to deter future Russian attacks. For more, let's bring in ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang, traveling with the president, along with ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy. Selena, I want to ask you first, what is the main objective here for President Trump heading into this meeting?
Yeah, well, you heard the president really striking an optimistic tone there, saying he believes that Vladimir Putin is ready and serious about peace. He had just spoken to Putin shortly before this meeting. He also said that he was going to call Putin after the meeting as well. The president expressing that optimism despite the fact that Russia has continued these relentless attacks, including one of the heaviest assaults in months, just hours before this meeting was set to begin. Zelenskyy, again, he is coming here asking for stronger U.S. security guarantees. He wants to ensure that Putin cannot invade Ukraine again. And while Zelenskyy has said that the peace agreement is 90% of the way there, that last 10%, there's a lot of sticking points there. In addition to the security guarantees, there are issues around territorial disputes. But Zelenskyy is ready for some serious compromise, floating the idea of having this buffer zone with the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine. That is territory that Putin has long sought to control. But despite the president's optimism there, Putin is showing no sign that he is ready to compromise.
Mick, I want to ask you this question. We know one of the main sticking points here are those security guarantees. What would they actually look like for Ukraine? Again, this meeting is coming on the heels of those new Russian attacks where we saw missiles and drones pummel Kyiv. So what could these security guarantees actually look like for Ukraine?
So, there is reporting that they're looking at something like an Article 5 type guarantee from the NATO treaty, right? So that means if they're attacked, then those that agree with them, in this case, these European countries of the willing and the United States, could come to their defense. If that's the case, that's the biggest advantage from a security perspective of joining NATO. So if they get something that strong, which means you attack us, you attack the United States and these European countries, that is the security guarantees I think Ukraine is looking for. And they're also looking not to reduce their military in half, because that just indicates to them that Russia intends to restart this war if they have an opportunity. So if we can get to that, and that's fully within the agreement of these European countries, United States, we could get to the point where Ukraine feels satisfied with this agreement.
All right, Selena Wang, Mick Mulroy, thank you very much. We'll have continuing updates right here on ABC News Live throughout the day.